What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? How are you guys doing today? How are you doing? What is going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Yasmin Breakdown. Today, we have quite a few stories, quite a few things have been going on. And as you all know, a lot of people seem to get it wrong. And so today we have stories on Angel Reese. We have a story on LeBron James. I have a story on Daphne Joy and Cam Newton. And I'm going to update you on the Jay-Z video that I did and share with you some of the reactions. And so let's go ahead and get into it, get into it, get into it. So the first bit of good news we have right off the bat is our girl Angel Reese and the Atlanta Dream, you guys, just beat the Indiana Fever. And so I got to share with you what is going on as far as that goes. It's really good. She reached her the score. First of all, the score was 113 to 96. Okay, 113 to 96. This is back to back wins for the Atlanta Dream, and so I just want to look in the camera for all of the Angel Reese haters who, once I clip this video and put this all across the social media universe, I know you're going to be coming for me in the comments. But let me tell you something. Statistics matter. Results matter. The Atlanta Dream just beat the Indiana Fever 113 to 96. This is back-to-back games, okay? Listen, argue with your mama, okay? Argue with your mama. And so obviously Caitlin Clark played, okay? Atlanta, Angel finished with 18 points and 8 rebounds in the win. Ryan Howard scored 24 points. Alicia Gray added 22 points. And so what I want to make sure that, you know, for people who are Angel Reese fans, for people who are WNBA fans, what I want us to make sure that we're paying attention to is there seems to be no shortage of commentary where people have something to say about Angel Reese. And a lot of the commentary is not positive. And what I want you guys to see in real time is that even when somebody has something negative to say, you keep going. Even when somebody tries to dim your shine, you keep going. Even when people try to make you feel less than, you keep going. And Angel, at her very tender young age, seems to understand this on so many levels. She doesn't let anything get her down. And, you know, I've been hearing a lot more sports commentating where people are seemingly a little bit more complimentary to her. Before it was like, oh, she can't make layups. Oh, she's a bricklayer. There's all of these things. But she is managing to give her team more opportunities to get points. And it's an ugly job rebounding. We learned that from Dennis Rodman. And so I want you to see that here you can be doing as good as you can and you're breaking records and all that. People will still have something negative to say about you. But guys, our girl broke a record today. Today, she reached 1,000 rebounds. That's absolutely correct. That's no cap. 1,000 rebounds she reached. She is the fastest player to do so. She did it in 79 games. So again, people got something to say. Those are the statistics. Argue with your mama. Also, for all the people who I see in my Angel Reese comments, you want to know what people are saying about Angel Reese? Go to my Yasmin Shiraz Facebook page. You will see on my fan page, I do a lot of, encouraging Angel Reese videos and clips and things like that, they always have something to say. And one of the things that they say is, oh, well, they can't sell out a high school gym. And here today, they sold out State Farm Arena. And so I want us to make sure at every turn you might have in your own life somebody who is trying to tear you down. You might have somebody in your life who's trying to tell you that you shouldn't pursue the goal that you want. And I'm trying to tell you, somebody will always have something to say. That's why you should do what you want to do anyway. You heard it here first, okay? Now, there is somewhat of a black eye or dark spot for what happened today, and that is in one of her sort of, grabbing the ball and sort of, getting the ball or what have you, she was ruled a flagrant one foul. And I looked at the play, I rewatched it, I looked at it again. It didn't look like a flagrant one foul to me. And so, what I really want to pay attention to is the WNBA, are the referees going to treat her fairly? That is what I am concerned about. If you guys saw the game, you can look up the foul if you want online. It didn't look like a flagrant one to me. I am very new in terms of assessing, how bad the fouls are and so forth. I'm such a neophyte on that, so really don't have a leg to stand on. But when I looked up, well, what does it mean? It's almost like, you're elbowing or, someone to the throat or whatever. And it didn't feel intentional. It didn't feel unnecessary. And so I want us to keep a very, very, very close eye on how they are treating Angel Reese. I had watched a video today. I wish I would have clipped it and shared so that I have it to share. I don't. But there is a content creator on bars and something. I don't even know her handle. But anyway, she was talking about how the WNBA has been going into the comments and taking negative comments that people have been making about Caitlin Clark, but they haven't been doing the same thing for Angel Reese. I don't know if this is true. I probably shouldn't even have shared it because I don't want to be like rumor mongering or whatever. But I want to be mindful on, are they simply assigning her a flagrant one because they can? There are points assigned to the flagrant fouls. You have to be fined for the flagrant fouls. And if the points add up, that becomes a problem. This is a way to take somebody out of the game. Am I saying that they're doing that? No, but I am going to keep my eye on it. And if you are watching this stream tonight, please go and check out this foul. Did it look like a flagrant one to you? I am certainly going to look at my favorite sports content creators and I'm going to ask them that very same question. All right, y'all. So our next story, oh my goodness, one of my favorite people. Y'all know I'm biased. I don't care. Y'all can talk about me. But one of my next stories is my guy,
I was
LeBron
not in a
James.
relationship
And
today.
I'm going to get him
I
up
could
here. I'm
not have
going
a
to turn the
stay-at-home
volume
woman.
on. Just give
It's
me a
not
second
like for
here.
me, who I am at
I'm
40
going to
and
get it for
what I
you
got
one
going on.
second. We're going to get LeBron. LeBron was in the news. Let me just, set this up properly. LeBron James was in the news recently. And this actually, I thought was an old clip. I don't think this is a new clip, but for whatever reason, it's been making the rounds. And his comments got people really, got their panties in a bunch. And I really want to break down a difference that I think a lot of people are missing. So let me turn the volume on for you guys so that you can actually hear what he's saying. So just give me a second.
Personally, me today, if I was not in a relationship today, I could not have a stay-at-home woman. It's not like for me, who I am at 40 and what I got going on, just coming home and just seeing somebody just sitting on the couch every day, just sitting there, just chilling, like that wouldn't float for me.
All right, y'all. So he said the man that he is today, okay, if he wasn't in the relationship he is in today, he couldn't have a stay at home woman. And my goodness, so many people got their little panties in a bunch, right? They got on their broomsticks and they flew to Mars because of LeBron saying this. But here's the distinction that I think that you've missed. A stay-at-home mom versus a stay-at-home woman, it's not the same thing, okay? So he said stay-at-home woman. He didn't say stay at home mom, right? So what is a stay at home mom, right? How is this different? So I saw people going, a stay at home mom does so much. He doesn't know what a stay at home mom does. He didn't say a stay at home mom, you guys. He said a stay at home woman. So when you think that him and Savannah had their kids, I don't know, early 20s or something like that, they're kids outside of little Zuri, but they're two of their kids are adults, right? They're not even at home. They're not even living at home, right? So a stay-at-home mom is someone who is very active in raising the children, cooking, cleaning up, doing all of the things in the household. She may even be helping her husband manage his job in some way. You guys know I was married 23 years before my husband passed away. And I worked at home when my kids were little. And I did, PTA meetings, going to meet with the teachers, helping with projects. But I also spent a great deal of time helping my husband manage stress with his work, whatever his scheduling was. And then when he became an entrepreneur, helped him in that regard as well. Great, wonderful. But a stay-at-home woman is essentially someone who probably is not doing any mothering duties. She might be someone whose kids are grown and, as he said, is sitting on the couch all day. So what he is saying is, like, all this stuff that I have going on, I've told people so many times, ambition is sexy, right? Somebody who wants to do something. So he's saying, hey, with all the stuff that I got going on, I want someone else who would have something going on. Because again, if you got motion, you can be a person who wants a partner with motion. Now, I know this is so confusing, because you have people who will come on the internet and be like, hey, if your man got money, he don't care. You don't have to do anything. I do think that there are people who want their woman to sit at home and not do anything all day. And I'm not criticizing those people. I do think that those people 100% exist, right? But I also feel that there are people, like what LeBron just said, was like, hey, if I'm not in this relationship and right now in my life, I wouldn't want somebody sitting at home all day. There's nothing wrong with him basically saying, I would want somebody who is a go-getter, who's going to go and do something. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Okay, this is just my opinion. But I want everyone to understand and replay the tape if necessary. He said a stay-at-home woman. He did not say a stay-at-home mom. And since his kids are older, I'm sure he's thinking like, okay, well, our kids are going to be older, so what is this person doing? So let's just, keep that in mind. And I think it totally makes sense. If you're somebody, and I know, sharing a little bit of my own story with my husband, I was always active, running my own business, having my own things going on, but I was very active in investing for our family, 401k, stocks. I was always the person going, okay, well, what about this? Well, what can we invest in this? What can we, like, those are things that were of value to my husband. He was busy working. He couldn't do it all. And I was like, well, I want to take some time out of my day so that I can do this for our family. And so don't, be mad at King James, because I think there is a difference between a stay-at-home mom and also a stay-at-home woman. And if you don't, let me know what you think. Guys, our next story of today is really going to be the meat of the broadcast. I am going to talk to you about the Daphne Joy Cam Newton interview. And this interview sort of sent off so many bells in my head, and sort of alarms, if you will, to the difference. It is such a difference in my mind with how Black women are viewed in our society versus people who aren't Black. And, a lot of times when Black women are being crucified in social media and slut shamed in social media, so many people come out online and try to tell us we're delusional and, we're making it up and no, it's not true and blah, 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 blah. But in my mind, Daphne Joy and some of her comments and her confidence, quite frankly, and how she has been treated in the media is an example of what we need to examine. And so I'm going to pull this latest video up for you. Let me get on I'm going to pull the latest video up for you so that you guys can see it. So just give me a moment here. And of course,
why should I be ashamed of that? I'm
hiding. I'm going to get the volume up for you. Yeah, it's so much going on.
Why should I be ashamed
excited.
of that? I'm not. Why should I be ashamed?
All right, let's get some volume so we can hear. I have 2 clips of this, and this is our very first clip.
I'd be ashamed of that. I'm not hiding my sexuality, my sensuality, my seductiveness, nothing. I mean, that's me as a woman. That's my femininity that I'm absolutely in love with. And I love being a woman, and a woman who loves sex. I'm not hiding. Is sexual and is sensual. Devouring, like that dance is like where we're the most like animalistic and like the most free in ourselves. Like, why should I be ashamed of that?
Okay, I want to point out just right there, and she's talking about, being sensual and being free and being animalistic. And I guess about maybe a week ago or so, I think the whole video is either 37 or 39 minutes. I only watched I saw a clip that was 2 minutes and 19 seconds. I watched it one time. Okay. She is allegedly one of the people who was doing freak offs with Diddy. She is the mother of 50 Cent's son. And so she is someone who engaged allegedly in various freak offs with Diddy. The sex tape that was recently leaked showed her with I have since looked him up. I believe he is a porn star. He has a very large member. And in just the short clip that I saw, they were naked. She was doing all sorts of oral and, other things, sexual things in the video. And when you see her speaking right now, she talks about her sensuality, embracing it. Why should she be ashamed of it? That's what jumps out at me regarding what she's saying. I'm not mad at her. I'm not angry at her. And I have no interest in slut shaming her in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But what's very interesting, if you guys remember, when Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson broke up, and that meme came out, and you have, Megan bent down in the front and these line of guys, and so many guys came out, and they were black men, a lot of them, and they called her everything but a child of God. They talked about everybody who she supposedly had a relationship with, who she supposedly had sex with. They attempted to shame her and essentially say that she was not worthy. She wasn't worthy of love. She wasn't worthy of a man who was a millionaire. She wasn't worthy of a man who was in the NBA. She wasn't worthy of anyone who was going to take her seriously. These are the comments. You can look them up on my Instagram page, Empower with Yasmin. You can look them up on my Facebook page, Yasmin Shiraz. And yet this woman is able to come out and say, hey, yeah, it's me. Why should I be ashamed of it? We're our most animalistic. This is not something, in my opinion, that had this person, she is half, I want to say, Filipino and Puerto Rican, that a black woman could have said, coming off of the Diddy freak-offs, allegedly, I do not believe that somebody could have said that and been a black woman. I will let us continue to listen.
Yeah, you just got to own it.
Just for the record, did you leak?
No, absolutely not. I saw it for the first time when everyone else saw it for the first time. I was like underneath the covers, like, oh.
What?
I was like, oh my God.
No. What's the I do?
And trust me, if I were to leak my own tape, they would be climbing the walls, okay?
No. The Great Wall of China, like, damn.
Turning inside out.
But I want to ask.
So, another point that I want to make, and again, no slut shaming, guys, like we're not doing that, but the calmness or the jovialness that she's able to sort of joke about, well, if I were to release my sex tape, right? Like, hey, this is okay. This is something that's almost liberating. This is something that's fun. This is not a space for black women, right? I remember Montana Fishburne. So Larry Fishburne, or Lawrence Fishburne, as we're supposed to call him, I believe, his daughter having a sex tape. We heard about her sex tape. People was talking about, what her skin looked like on her behind. I mean, people tore this young woman down. Okay, she could not come and be like, oh, well, sure. Like, hey, it happened. And hey, and I'm laughing and I'm doing media and like, hey, and if, what I'm saying? And even Cam, she says climbing the walls. He's talking about the Great Wall of China. So he's basically saying the Great Wall of China is one of the greatest walls ever. He's basically saying, well, hey, if you were to release one and you're saying climbing the walls, he's saying, yeah, we will be climbing the Great Wall to see it. So he is almost complimentary towards her regarding this. And I am saying my assertion today with how they relate to black women who they feel are promiscuous, who they feel has slept with so many people, they are not jovial. They are not happy. They are not patting a black woman on the back who is sexually liberated. They are not doing that. And so it's interesting to me that she's getting almost a round of applause. And I'm saying, as a black woman who has seen people tear down black women, this is not a space that is welcome to Black women. And that's a space of sexuality where, you're free, you're animalistic, you're all these things. You're happy in who you are. She said, just own it. She said, just own it. Right? A Black woman cannot own having multiple partners publicly, even if they're all adults, even if they've all protected themselves, particularly being a high profile person, because they come after you and they say everything about you, whether it's true or not. Okay, whether it's true or not, they come after you. And this is a double standard that when I saw this video, that's why I said I got to come on and talk about it, because this is an example of the double standard right in our face. Let's continue.
With you leaning in to becoming such a prominent figure as a sex symbol, right? What's your goal?
Why should I be ashamed?
What is her goal? So that was an interesting question. I didn't even go into what her goal is. I didn't even, clip that. I do have a second clip, or what have you. But what's interesting again, and this is what I say we have to look at in our society and sort of examine, is you have Meg Thee Stallion, who, has her college degree, owns a couple businesses, owns a Popeyes, doing all of these things, right? And she's dated whomever she's dated, whatever. And she gets in a good relationship, right? But she's working, she's, got real estate investment, she's doing her thing. Her and her boyfriend break up. She's everything but a child of God. You're slut shaming her on superhero levels. Like there's nothing higher. Okay. This woman, who we understand allegedly is in some kind of freak off situation, potentially, allegedly, it hasn't been confirmed. And Cam Newton cannot really contain his enthusiasm or how impressed that he is. He's asking her as she becomes a sex symbol, what? What? Okay. And I'm not hating. I'm just wanting to point out just the discrepancy between how one person with not even a sex tape is treated and someone else who not only has a sex tape, but has been allegedly tied to doing multiple sort of acts, freak-offs, whatever you want to call them, potentially with sex workers. Allegedly, okay? We don't know this for a fact, so I don't want to say she did it. If it wasn't her, it was someone else. But it brings the point of how differently we treat people. And it's like, if it's one person, it's okay. If it's somebody else, they're beneath the dirt in my shoe. I want to give us another one real fast. So
was that a relationship?
Well, just to chime in on what you said about the storage. So you watched all 39 minutes?
I'm gonna pull up the sound.
I watched a large, substantial time. I wouldn't say all 39
How would you know
minutes,
that?
but I'll be a liar, I think.
You
Listen,
sure?
I promise to keep it funky. I promise
It's
to keep it
funky
a buzz.
phrase.
I'm trying to tell you. I needed to do my research.
So what you're telling me is
For
you watched
sure.
it for 39 minutes.
I had to. It's my job to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Journalism, right?
For sure.
For journalism.
For sure.
For the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the people.
Yes. I had to really make sure that I knew exactly, not necessarily referring.
Yeah.
Was that a real relationship?
In my heart, it was. In my heart and in my soul, definitely.
Mm-hmm. You came out with a statement, and it is, and I quote, "Everybody plays the fool sometimes, and I have been the biggest fool." You said you crossed your own boundaries to make someone else happy. What did you mean by that?